And hello, it's a new week, folks. I'm Tom Kvika here with a little weathercast for you. Let's look outdoors with the tower cam. This is our Sinlock broadcasting off Texas Street there, looking just a few puffy cumulus clouds, a little bit of high and middle of a clouds. We'll call it a partly cloudy day, a little bit hazy. You see a little filtered sun getting through there. And it's kind of hot and muggy, 90 and 72. That's pretty typical here for early June, maybe just a degree or two higher on the temperature and maybe 1 or 2 degrees higher on the dew point. So there's a heat index. It feels in the mid to upper 90s there in many areas. Gina, 89 degrees. Likewise, haziness, but some sun getting through. Just a few clouds there. The cumulus clouds, those are little puffy ones. And then a little bit of mid-level and high-level cloudiness going on as well. Looking at the radar, we are not seeing too much happening here in central Louisiana. I got a little longer scope here for you. Let me play it again so I can show you something with this. Notice how some storms started developing in the eastern part of Texas there earlier in the day. And those have pretty much dissipated, contrary to what the computer models or forecast models were saying. They were indicating a group of storms would develop here in deep East Texas and kind of move across the Sabine River and affect portions of Sinlock for today. And that hasn't happened. And if it was going to, it would already be happening. So maybe that's a good sign because we have another storm complex up to the north of us. This has prompted warnings as far as south as the Caddo Bossier Parish areas there in northwest Louisiana. This is a severe thunderstorm watch, which is out for that part of the country until 8 p.m. So we do have another little storm complex which is aiming at us. So what is going to happen to us with this one? Well, look at the features first. We see this pattern continuing with the storm complexes. You see a little rotation right there across Kansas. That's an upper level disturbance which makes the atmosphere unsettled. Beneath that's aloft. So beneath that, the atmosphere is unstable. It's warm, it's moist, it's buoyant. So any lift in the atmosphere would create big clouds, and that's essentially what thunderstorms are. The complex organizes and heads generally to the east or to the southeast. And you see that happening here on the satellite and radar combo imagery there. All right, going into the futurecast on a high resolution model, this is the way this model is indicating what will happen with this particular storm complex up to the north. It hits Sinlock a grazing blow. So that is good news for us, as much of that I think will be felt maybe in our northeastern parishes and then points eastward into Mississippi. So we'll see. I'll keep an eye on it for this evening. We'll see if that's going to happen. So there is a severe weather risk from that potential possibility there as the severe weather risk is across Sinlock. You see we're once again in two categories. And I think there is certainly some logic to this, as we'll see a higher risk of severe weather in our central and northern tier of parishes, lesser risk to the south. And if that grazes us, like that model is showing, then we may not even see much of this slight risk. But I'll go ahead and go with this through tonight. That's what's in the books right now. So the severe weather threats overall, the threat is limited. And your favorite bar graph here, I'll show that. The flood risk is pretty low, although there could be a few spots of locally heavy rainfall. I think very few with this. The wind risk is the primary thing that we will be seeing. Hail would be a lesser threat, and tornado, you never are safe saying that there won't be a tornado. So we'll say there's a tornado can't be ruled out. So here go the percentages and the timing. Through 1 o'clock Tuesday morning, so just after midnight, I think the potential will be here until then. So the pattern, that glancing blow from a convective system, if it's a direct hit, then all this will change. We'd be more of a level 2, but a level 1 and level 2 risk that I just showed you. Wind risk is 5 to 15%. Hail risk 2 to 5%, and that tornado risk is less than 2%. These percentages, of course, based on research from the Storm Prediction Center and others who indicate they study this stuff, so we can give folks a risk of how likely is it to happen near your area, and that is within a 25-mile radius of your house or your work or your school. Rainfall, yeah, there will be some for some folks, many folks maybe, but if that hits us a glancing blow, then fewer folks will be affected by the heavy rainfall. So most totals that happen will be less than an inch, and then of course peak amounts 2 to 3 inches, and probably local bullseye type patterns, and that will be pretty few and far between if that thing glances us instead of gives us a direct hit. So monitor your weather sources as always, just in case warnings are going to be issued. Futurecast. What's happening beyond today? Well, this model, the same model, indicate, and there's truth to this, I believe. I like this pattern that it's showing. By noon Tuesday, or somewhere thereabouts, there'll be another storm complex organized in Oklahoma and be heading this way, just now getting into Sabine, Natchitoches, and Wynn parishes, perhaps prompting warnings at that time. So be aware of that possibility for Tuesday. Then that one moves out, and Wednesday, about the same time, another storm complex forms earlier in Oklahoma and rides down to the southeast. And by noon, once again, we see maybe Vernon, Sabine, Natchitoches, Wynn parishes under the gun for another storm complex, another risk of storms. And so, again, in that type of pattern, here's what the Storm Prediction Center is saying for us there in their outlooks for tomorrow. They've got us in a marginal outlook for that first storm complex, and then the second one. Well, they're not quite respecting it yet. They are just saying maybe there'll be some thunderstorms. They don't have any risk out there. Probably the coverage may be too low in their opinion, or something like that. So we'll see what happens there. All right, let's go to the 7-day forecast and sort all this out. 72 and 88 for your Tuesday temperatures, and Wednesday 50-50 chances range what I've got. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, at least implying something's going to happen. I do have a severe risk for both days, in my opinion, and temperatures will be quite muggy. The atmosphere will be unstable. So a couple of unsettled days left. And then we go into a little pattern where we're going to see less rain chances Thursday through the weekend, and maybe Monday we see an uptick in the rain chances. But with Thursday through Sunday, it'll be kind of a hot period there with low 90s, maybe a few middle 90s on thermometers. There'll be a little humidity, especially Thursday and Friday, that will drive the heat index up in the 100-degree range, maybe a little bit higher in places. And then Saturday and Sunday with a little bit of dry air coming in. There is that frontal influence. I've got it specifically on Friday for the frontal passage to come through. So a little bit lower dew points, a little bit less moisture in the air for the weekend, which would kind of take the edge just a tad off the heat, although we don't see much relief from the thermometer with highs of 92. But the morning lows, 68 and 70, will be bearable. And then Monday, back to humidity. Notice how the minimum temperature rises to 73, so it'll be a hot, muggy day, high of 90, but a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms kind of coming back into the forecast as the Thursday through Sunday time period kind of ruled aloft by a little bit of a high pressure ridge, kind of wants to build in from the west and southwest. By Monday, indications are that feature will be weakening some, and therefore a chance back to a chance increasing rain on Monday. All right, we'll keep our eyes open for the severe weather. I think Nicholas, being in St. Louis, though, will have some capabilities to bring you a morning update for tomorrow morning. If that doesn't happen, I'll watch out for it, and I'll do one. All right, we'll see you around, and thanks for your support. And as always, God bless.